good decision. You need 5 bowlers, and South Africa will look to bat long in this first innings and try and set up the test match and then put real pressure on Bangladesh as the game goes on. There's a look at that South African lineup. So Aiden Markram at the top of the order, making his debut, and he couldn't have wished for a better time to do it. It's a flat surface. The attack is not really threatening at the moment, and he's looked pretty good as well. And then the other debutant is Andile Phehlukwayo. He comes in at number 7. He's the all-rounder in the lineup.
Yeah, once you bowl a few overs, then you started to realize what this pitch is offering. Once again, nicely played and a good work, very good work from Shabbir Rahman, diving to his right. And it's turning out to be a really good wicket. Sun's come out, so it'll dry the pitch and it'll be better conditions. We always feel the first day and first 2 days will be very good for batting.
Well, it's been very dry in this area as well, so the groundsman, it hasn't been easy for him to get enough moisture in the surface. And also, if you know the history of the ground, Atta, you know that normally this is a very good batting wicket. It's a quick outfield, so it's a sort of surface when you get the opportunity to bat, you want to take it and capitalise on it. So that was why it was such a surprise when Bangladesh decided to do the opposite. Faf du Plessis was relieved at the toss. He couldn't believe his luck. He was going to bat first.
That's what ball just moved away from the left-hander. Shafil Islam coming back into the Bangladesh squad in the last test match. Was against Australia. Yeah, lovely delivery. Just moving away. Bit of a movement. Good seam position.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that might be a little bit of reverse already. It's an abrasive service. It's a dry one, so the ball will scuff up. Nicely played off the hip from Dean Elgar. Strong in that area. He's looked good today. Played well in England as well, Dean Elgar. Batting conditions weren't easy there on that tour. The ball was decking around all over the place, but Elgar played well during those test matches. In the last 9 test matches, he's got 767 runs at 45. He's got 300s and 450. So from an opening batting point of view, that's excellent.
No!
16 gone, 61 without loss.
কেনাকাটায় যুক্ত করুন নতুন আনন্দ ডাচ বাংলা ব্যাংক ক্রেডিট কার্ড নেক্সাস যত বেশি কেনাকাটা তত বেশি রিওয়ার্ডস ডাচ বাংলা ব্যাংক আপনার বিশ্বস্ত সহযোগী
তুমি অনেক ব্যস্ত রোদেলা সকালে অথবা ঝলমলে বিকেল বেলায় কোনো কিছুই তোমার নজর এড়ায় না শুধু অবহেলা নিজের ত্বকের বেলায় প্রতিদিনের রোদে ত্বক হারায় তার উজ্জ্বলতা আর কোমলতা ভ্যাসলিন হেলদি হোয়াইট এটি সাহায্য করে ত্বক সুস্থ করতে উজ্জ্বল করতে এবং রোদ থেকে ত্বককে রক্ষা করতে তাই উজ্জ্বল এবং সুস্থ ত্বক মাত্র 2 সপ্তাহে ভ্যাসলিনের সেই ত্বক সুস্থ করার শক্তি
Important now for both Aiden Markram and Dean Elgar to make the best of the starts that they've got. When you open the batting, you know you're going to have plenty of times where you get out early against that new ball when the ball is doing a bit, but if you get conditions like these and the surface is flat and the attack is a little bit pedestrian, you've got to try and capitalise.
Yeah, big challenge for the Bangladesh bowlers. Someone like Taskin Ahmed, who was a little bit expensive in that warm-up match that Bangladesh played. They need to adapt and adjust very quickly especially on a surface like this, which is looking very good for batting. I think it's the length. Obviously the line is important. If nothing's moving and you're not getting anything from the surface, you need to attack the top of the off stump.
Yeah, it's interesting. Aiden Markram, he stands on off stump. A lot of South African batsmen are doing that these days. There's a suggestion that that's the influence of Neil McKenzie, the batting coach. Now, there's pros and cons to standing on off stump. We'll get to those after this delivery. It's nicely played on the back foot. So traditionally, most batsmen in years gone by would have batted on what we call two-leg or middle stump, or some of them even on leg stump. You can have a good look at Aiden Markram. He sets up and stands on off stump, probably even a little bit outside off stump with his bats. So that's a new trend. So the thinking behind that is that knows exactly where his off stump is, and then anything outside his eye line, he can let that go. What you have to be careful of now is the straight delivery. So you can't overbalance, because if the delivery is straight, sometimes you'd think it would miss leg stump, but if you're standing on off stump, it could go straight into the stump. So the LBW dismissal comes into the equation.
Yeah, these are the minor adjustments that the batsman makes when he feels that, yes, what can be a little bit more comfort zone for any batsman. Talk about that stance, and I completely agree with you, because you really don't want to chase wider deliveries. And he knows exactly where his off stump is. Look at the leg stump, and he's basically while trying to lead that delivery, just showing the middle stump and the leg stump. Not a worry.
Kept his balance there, and just as well he did, but he executed that on drive superbly, and the balance was the key, and the fact that he kept his head still, his eyes level, and the timing was spot on. The other impressive thing about Aiden Markram is how still he is at the crease. There's no trigger movement, there's no movement at all, he's dead still. So at the point of delivery, his head and his eyes are very still, and that's good. This is a beautiful shot. Highest opening partnership for South Africa this year as well.
No.
65 without loss.
Dual selfie camera, one for selfie, one for group selfie. Oppo F3, F3 Plus, selfie expert.
Oppo camera phone.
Try the exciting long-lasting fragrance, cool body spray for the real man. Adnan, hi Adnan, what my no?
Sir, disturb করে
তোকে আর এফএনএফ রাখবো না,
কষ্ট করতে হবে না। মাইজিপি অ্যাপের ব্যাপার।
মাইজিপি অ্যাপ ডাউনলোড করলেই এফএনএফ আপডেট করা, ফ্যামিলি মেম্বারদের নম্বর ম্যানেজ করা, সবকিছু পাবেন একই সাথে, অনেক সহজেই। গ্রামীণ ফোন।
So a patience game on both sides. From a batting point of view, Dean Elgar is a patient player. He concentrates for long periods. He's got terrific concentration. Aiden Markram has that as well. And also the Bangladesh bowlers, they're going to have to be very patient. Not getting any movement through the air. There's no movement off the seam.
It's a very good shot. It's racing away to the boundary. That has been the problem. Even in the previous over we saw batsmen picking up a boundary on the onside. Strong offside field, only 3 men on the onside. Pitches it up. And Algar plays it beautifully, just waiting for it and just turning it away on the onside, just through the gap between that fielder at mid-on and mid-wicket. Lovely shot. Good piece of timing as well. So runs are coming at ease at the moment, and that is a problem for Bangladesh. You can understand that there's nothing much in this surface for the bowlers. So picking up wickets will be difficult, but it's important also to realize the fact that that's sloppy. Like just letting it go through for a single. You need to realize that how can you create any kind of pressure? How can you build up the pressure? Important for bowlers to understand. Momin Ul Haq, the fielder.
Pretty defensive now from a field placing point of view too. Just the one slip and a gully position. Yes, the only thing Bangladesh can really try and do now is to try and bowl some maidens, create pressure from a scoring point of view at both ends, hope for a little bit of reverse swing as the innings goes on, and try and get some breakthroughs that way.
Yeah, in the past they've been picking up spinners, and spinners have done the job for them. Yes, obviously there's no Shakib Al Hasan, but discussed it earlier, and I thought maybe there was a golden opportunity for someone like Taijul Islam, the left-arm orthodox, to be in the 11. And I think just going back to the squad, once they get out from Bangladesh, they come into alien conditions. Just they played this 3-day warm-up match. They would have expected that the pitch would have been a little bit more in favor of the seamers. And they've left after Shomo Shokar have a bit of a niggling injury. Shobhashish Roy, there's another seamer. Taijul Islam is the one that I was speaking about, the left-arm orthodox. There's no Rubul Hussain. So perhaps that could have been a better choice. 71 without loss.
These are your boarding passes. Have a safe flight.
Window seat, joldi.
কিন্তু স্যার ফ্লাইটটি তো
কি তুমি জানো আমি কে? হ্যাঁ
স্যার আমি দেখছি ব্যাপারটা। সম্মানিত যাত্রীবৃন্দ, এই ভদ্রলোক জানেন না উনি কে। যদি কোনো সহৃদয় ব্যক্তি ওনার পরিচয় জানেন তাহলে কাউন্টারে যোগাযোগ করুন।
ব্রুকবন তাজা সতেজ চায়ের দানায় আছে প্রাকৃতিক থেয়ানিন, যা মনকে করে তোলে তাজা।
শেষ খাওয়া শেষ, চাই সেন্টার ফ্রেশ, নতুন সেন্টার ফ্রেশ।
Lost the balance without the services of Shakib Al Hasan, who is not available. But, once they've decided to go ahead with this 11, then they've got to back themselves up. And they've got to create pressure. You mentioned that Kepler trying to bowl maiden over, but such a good track. You will get
dual batting conditions. Adam Markram has been one of those players that's come through the system and been earmarked for international honours all the way through. Did well at under 19 level. He hasn't played a great deal of first-class matches, 33 of those, and they wouldn't have all been, or 35 now, they wouldn't have all been at franchise level. Some of them would have been at semi-professional level. He's got a steady record. Average of 44.
Yeah, was uppish, but did it carry to the fielder Mustafizur Rahman? He's feeling at point. I mean, that's a bit of a surprise for me, being a pace bowler. Just probably dropping short. Maybe did he get it? His finger just underneath. He's a bit disappointed.
Difficult. Looked like it just bounced in front.
Yeah, I hardly seen him feeling in that position, Mustafizur Rahman. And then this happened just a couple of balls earlier. Atish. He was trying to dive forward, probably just drop shot.
Hasn't been many opportunities, if indeed any, this morning for the Sri Lankan bowlers, so they got really excited there. For the Bangladesh bowlers, I beg your pardon.
And these are the chances, half chances that you've got to take. That's the reason why I was talking there, whether if this
Really good bunch of umpires too. I mentioned how Aidan Markram's a terrific guy, and very good bunch of umpires that are on the panel at the moment. They're all very personable. You saw the way that Bruce Oxenford handled that. That was ideal as well. Down the ground. Loves playing that shot to Zelga. Fast outfield. Really good work. That's terrific commitment. Saved one. That's inspiring stuff for Bangladesh.
Yeah, got the slide out. Excellent. Every run counts, not only in one-day cricket but test cricket too. But this has really been a feature of Dean Elgar's batting the last couple of months. Straight bat, straight past the bowler. There we see that bit of fielding again. Excellent stuff.
So nice flow at the moment from Markram in particular. He seems to be extremely alert about what's going on, which is so important, and feeding off the doggedness of Dean Elgar as well. Strike rate of 60 for both of them pretty much. Certainly very acceptable in these sort of conditions at the top order for an international team.
He's got a healthy range of strokes, Aidan Markram. That's why I like this partnership between him and Dean Elgar. Dean Elgar, the tough, gutsy, old-fashioned opener. We see a short delivery, and Markram has got a little bit more range in terms of stroke play. So they complement each other. Could be enough selectors. Linda Zondi, he's got a smile on his face. Happy with the start.
Maybe some memories from an album. Doc Musici standing up. Nicely punched. One thing that you need to just take notice of here, both these batsmen are doing this, is when they are punching the ball, opening the blade just a little bit from time to time. So just have a look at this as he opens the blade at the last minute. There we go. Just slicing the ball a fraction, knowing that he found the gap through that cover region. Most batsmen might just punch that back to the mid-off position, or just a standard cover point, but no, just worked it in the gap. Seen Markram also doing that. 92 for none.
ছয়টি exciting long-lasting fragrance cool body spray for the real man.
ঘরের চালের স্থায়ী সমাধান আনোয়ার সিমেন্ট শীট সব সিজনেই ফিট।
স্যার ডিস্টার্ব করে।
তোকে আর এফএনএফ রাখবো না।
কষ্ট করতে হবে না, মাই জিপি অ্যাপের ব্যাপার।
মাই জিপি অ্যাপ ডাউনলোড করলেই এফএনএফ আপডেট করা, ফ্যামিলি মেম্বারদের নম্বর ম্যানেজ করা সবকিছুই পাবেন একই সাথে, অনেক সহজেই। গ্রামীণ ফোন।
But we do know that Bangladesh have a few spin options to work with. Robbie, what are they got to be thinking about in this sort of situation and these sort of conditions?
Well, Heidi, it's very hard. I think from a mental point of view, you just got to try and control the run rate. Try and keep it really basic. Try and give the captain some sort of control. and keep it really simple. I think one thing you would want to do, I think, in terms of tactics, he's had his long on out to Aiden Markram. Maybe you're going to bring it in from time to time and just tempt him to go over the top. But there's not much you can do. You just got to be really, really patient and control the run rate.
And he's just 19 years of age, Mahdi Hassan.
He has good control, has good shape. That's a good delivery. It's been on the money this over. And that's all he has to do. And work on the batsman's patience.
But I guess as a spinner, Robbie, I mean, this is a completely different world to what he's been grown up on and what he normally plays at, of course, back home, where it turns a lot and bounces. I guess it's the same for you when you were playing, when you are used to playing and bowling in South African surfaces and you go to India or the Asian continent and come up on a track that's turning a lot. It's a big adjustment to make, I suppose.
I think the biggest adjustment is mentally. You know, I'm talking from my own experience, coming from South Africa where you don't do as much bowling, and then going to the subcontinent where you do the bulk of the bowling. So I know he's going to have to... Nicely played. I know he's going to have to put in a shift here, which he normally does back home, but there's not much on offer. So it's just a patience game, and hopefully the ball gets worn and can bring the seamers back, and maybe some reverse swing plays a part later. So it's just a massive patience game.
I think there will be reverse in this game, and that'll be a big factor as we go on. But he's changed now to his position of delivery from over and around, so that's good thinking, variation. We saw Sean Pollock identify a little bit of variation as well. So good work. 93 for none it is.
পেমেন্ট বিকাশ করলে দুটো লাভ, এক ক্যাশ নিয়ে ঝামেলা নেই, আর দুই কেনাকাটা হবে স্মার্টলি। তার মানে ক্যাশের চেয়ে বিকাশ ভালো।
6টি এক্সাইটিং লং লাস্টিং ফ্র্যাগ্রেন্সে কুল বডি স্প্রে ফর দ্য রিয়েল ম্যান।
Play well in the first test, the first series, get themselves in the winning way, and it'll tick alongside Otis Gibson and also Faf du Plessis' names. So 5 minutes to go before lunch. 93 for none it is. They'll be thinking about for none, these two batsmen, and going back to the safety of the change room, knowing that they're in control. There's Dale Steyn on the left. He's leaving soon to go back and continue his training. Not so much rehab, it's fitness and training. He's got a little bit of a tear. Pectoral muscle, I think that's the description of it. Just a small tear that has just kept you on the sidelines for a bit, so it's nothing to do with the shoulder injury he had. That's nicely whipped.
You mentioned a big summer ahead, Hazy. If you look at the South African team, I think there's only 2 guys that have over 50 test caps, Hashim Amla and Morne Morkel. So really in a rebuilding phase, and hopefully by the time India come to these shores, they'll have built up a lot of confidence by then.
I was talking also in the build-up how I've heard a couple of comments made about the fact that yes, there's a new coach, but everything's still the same, whatever, and yes, that's true though, to a certain extent. Oh, that's beautifully played. What a shot that is. Terrific shot from Markram. He's played some outstanding cover drives in this inning so far.
Yeah, this is trademark Aiden Markram. Much wrong with the delivery, just a little bit of width. Uppishly in the gap. But he hit it superbly. Great timing. And what a bat swing. They don't hold back the young boys of today. Great shot.
Amazing to think that he was pretty much growing up with T20 stuff, almost to a certain extent, once he got an age where he really understood the game and thought about playing it seriously. T20 cricket was around the place, I guess, or just about to start, so that's been their lifestyle in the game. Just continuing what I was saying about Otis Gibson. There are people on trial here, if you like, the support staff, the coaching staff, they've got to perform to make sure that they're retained. You've got players, of course, that want to impress that man. He's come into the environment with new ideas, which is great. So it's an important time for cricket in South Africa right now, where the new coach